Hey everybody, it's me, it's Andy, Decade Andy here. Pre-show, we haven't just started the music just yet, but I may as well introduce guest. Boom, there he is. There's Orange. Hey Orange, how's it going?
Hello, it's going fine. It's going well.
I'll ask this to you a third time when we actually start the recording, so I do apologize, but that's how the game works, you see.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough time to make a reactive image for you, so I just quickly made a little avatar image for you for the stream and plopped you in the corner. I thought that would do.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine. It's just a little orange with a happy face on. I didn't mean to give it slightly manic looking eyes, but you know. Very quickly photoshopping, just gone ... done. Okay, big smile on the orange. We're done. Having a good time.
Oh, okay. I see it now. It's fine. Yeah.
It's like you say, slightly deranged. It looks like an orange that has killed before. I don't think that represents you, but who knows? Right?
It's fine.
Who knows? Who knows? You know, yeah, it could be a
I'm
thing.
sure it's fine.
It's fine. It's all good. It's all fine. Clearly not a TFcon this weekend. Otherwise, you'd be there now. Are you? Are you at TFcon?
I'm not. No.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, was this something you were planning to go to?
No, not this weekend. No.
Something you'd like to go to then in the future? A TFcon, a future TFcon?
I would like to go to any, but I don't. Cons aren't for me at least yet.
Okay, that's fair enough. I understand that. That's fine. I'd always recommend if you can go. It's definitely a fun opportunity if you can get to a convention, and all that jazz. You know, if you can in the future. I don't even know if TFcon's very good. I assume it is. People say good things about it. I know TF Nation's usually pretty goo though. That can be a fun time.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Be a while before I can go to another one, I would suspect, but hey ho, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I think we've been streaming for a little bit. We could probably get the music rolling. We could start the poopcast and get this train a rolling. I'll be playing the music, and granted, you won't hear the music, but it will be playing. Just in case you wonder why I go very silent for like a minute and a bit. Oh well, 25 seconds. Okay?
Yep.
All right, here's some motherfucking music, baby. Let's go.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, and I'm here this week on the 10th of the 3rd, because that's the correct way to do dates, America. It is Smarch. It is the weekend of TFcon, and I'm joined by a guest this week, someone who's been listening to the show and supporting for a while. It's Orange. Hello, Orange.
Hello. Nice to be on here.
Yeah. How long you been listening to the show for, would you say, if you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. A couple years.
Okay. So a little bit of time. You've stuck around and decided to keep coming back, which I very much appreciate. Thank you. Were you here pre-Mikey? Have you only known a Mikey-esque show while he was around? Were you here when Dave was around?
I don't remember, Dave. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. It's interesting because my perception is most people remember the Dave days. That's what my perception is. But you know, I'm not the audience. I don't know every individual member and when they started listening to the show and everything like that. And I thought, you know, who knows? We have news this week. Few bits of news, few bits of third-party news. Some reveals of remolds, repainties, and a few new figures, but not a huge amount of figures. Hello, Simon Tang. Yes, Dave is in Cal L Prime. Not Cal A Prime. Cal A Prime. It's a fun name too. So, I guess we should start off, Orange, with the first bit of news, which is we will be talking about Dr. Wu the Destroyer Emperor, which is a Micromaster scaled Galvatron, and the Destroyer Planet, which is the Micromaster Grand Galvatron. And we have variants of the colors. There's the EO1C, which is the cartoon accurate colors, and the EO1M, which is apparently the Marvel comic colors, and the EO1S and the E29, which is the clear purple Galvatron and Destroyer Planet with some clear parts. So it's a new set. If you didn't know what this was from that one time where Galvatron had a vision of becoming one with Unicron and becoming a fat Galvatron, the very famous scene. And then the other Galvatron is just like a small Micromaster-sized Galvatron. What do you think of these oranges? You're not much of a third-party collector, if I'm correct in remembering that, right?
That's correct. These are adorable, though.
Are you a big fan of Fat Galvatron? Have you thought to yourself, man, I desire Fat Galvatron? Because let's be honest, there aren't many offerings for him. Even within the third-party community, there's only, I think maybe 5, or less, surely, right?
It's probably not even that. I never thought to myself, man, I'd want a figure of him. But if there was, say, a Hasbro like Generations figure of him, I would think about it.
That would be the thing to push you over. You'd be like, oh, Hasbro, okay, all right. It seems like it's a complete shell format, which, you know, that makes sense. He opens up his big old tumbly wumbly. Yeah, you can store the fusion cannon in there, and then all the parts just kind of Rock Lord inside of himself. I don't even know if that's fair, because the Rock Lord, I think, is less shell formery than this. What would you equate this? What would you equate this to? Like, if you could equate this to a transformation scheme, because I'm trying to think, because it's not like, I feel that do you remember the basic Beast Wars figures, the original Beast Wars figures?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I feel they did a bit more, even if it was automorphing.
I seem to remember some sort of like converting robots that do that specific thing, but I can't remember if there was Transformers or not. But yeah, he's an egg with a little robot tucked into him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume may not be the most articulated robot for his size. Probably not an articulated waist, I would imagine, right?
No.
If we're talking about ray paints, do you think it would be good to repaint him into like a Dr. Robotnik kind of robot with a bit of remolding?
I never thought of that. That would be pretty good. Yeah.
That could be. I think that could kind of work. I think you'd need to redo the head completely, but you give him like the when I say Dr. Robotnik, I mean the old like Sonic 1, Sonic 2 kind of look Dr. Robotnik. None of this weird egg-headed, super long-limbed modern Dr. Robotnik. I mean like OG. He's just a round boy kind of guy. I think that would be quite fun. And then we also have the Galvatrons in cartoon colors and Marvel comic colors. What do you think for a masterpiece? Sorry, not masterpiece. A Micromaster scaled Galvatrons. Do you think they've pulled off the mold fairly well?
He looks good. Yeah. He's what, about 2.5 inches, about 6 or 7 centimeters tall. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. It's pretty cool.
His transformation is kind of basic for his cannon mode. The cannon mode's, I think, always been notoriously quite difficult to get to look good and also get the robot shape to look well. For the cannon mode, the arms just kind of have a double elbow bend, but the fists are very, very visible. They don't really do anything with the fists at all, which is a bit of a shame. I'm trying to think. The legs look like they just kind of peg together, kind of similar to the Titan Master one. Titan's Return one. Yeah, it's the same thing, I suppose. Do you have a preference to which one you prefer out of the cartoon colors or the comic colors?
I always like the purple Galvatron, but the white one has been growing on me. I mean that's probably Hasbro's fault because I got the the Kingdom repaint up for a discount.
Oh, okay, all right. Is this a right color scheme for this Galvatron though? Because whenever I think like gray Galvatron, I don't think he has orange shoulders, does he?
I don't think so.
The
No,
color seems slightly weird. Like, it's not quite right. See if I can find some images. If I can, yeah. Let's have a look on the Google. Marvel Galvatron.
The Hasbro one has red shoulders.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking it's a bit weird. Yeah, like you say, the shoulders are red. What else? Yeah, he's got a different kind of tone of blue. The Hasbro one has more of a... Is that purple, would you say? Or is that blue or grey for like his limbs on the Hasbro version, since you've got it as well?
Let me just bring him down.
Yeah, have a good old peep at that. See what color he is. Because the toy looks like it is like a... It's either a dark blue or a dark kind of purple kind of look. And the Dr. Wu one is more of a just ocean blue, if you want to go that way, I think.
Yeah, this is definitely purple on the Hasbro.
And I'd say, looking at other images of, like, comic panels... Well, I mean, there's a Galvatron where he's blue and purple, and that's just wrong. Having a look at other, like, images on, like, a quick Google search, it looks like he's not quite right. Yeah, I'm happy to say that the color scheme for this gray Galvatron isn't just not quite there. Something that doesn't tickle me quite correctly about the way that this guy looks. It's not bad, you know, it's not egregious. It just doesn't look like I would imagine. And then there's the clear translucent one, which oddly enough isn't completely translucent. It seems like his torso's translucent, the kind of knee downward to foot translucent. I think the forearms to hands are translucent, but the head is solid plastic, the thighs are solid plastic, and the bicep and shoulder are solid plastic. Sorry, were you going to say something?
I would consider this quote comic book Galvatron as G2 Galvatron. I'm just going to call him G2 Galvatron.
Okay. I think I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's the color scheme that you kind of remember, but it's not quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see that. What do you think of the translucent Galvatron? Because again, I don't think this hits the mark, especially when you compare it to the recent-ish Hasbro one. The Hasbro one was pretty good because it had all the extra line detail on it, if I remember right.
Yeah, he did. Well, this one, he looks pretty. Yeah, not anywhere near what they're probably going for, but it looks like a really pretty figure.
What's your take on like fully translucent figures? Are you yay fully translucent figures, or more kind of nay, or just you don't care? Either way.
If they have a very important representation in the fiction, like, you know, Mirage has this holographic form, Ghost, Starscream, etc., then I'm perfectly fine with it. But if it's just clear plastic for clear plastic's sake, then no, absolutely not.
Okay, all right, okay, that makes sense. I can see that. I'm usually more of a no category because I'm scared the toys will explode over time, which is a good solid fear to have. You know. Beware of that stuff. But yeah, that's the little three little Galvatrons, four little Galvatrons all sitting in a row. One's a big fat planet man. If you're gagging for a planet-sized Galvatron, well, a big fat Galvatron, this is, I guess, one of the few ways to have a fat Transformer, because there aren't many. There's Optimus Prime from Energon, who's fat. There's Bulkhead from Animated, who's fat. Are there any other fat Transformers? Are there any other fat Transformers apart from the three?
Oh, there's Bayverse Roadbuster.
Which one was Roadbuster? Oh, yeah. The red car. Yeah. So, like, are there really only 4 fat robots? Huh.
Well, there has to be more, but
I think so.
Can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of any fat robots either, but I think you might be right. I think it might only be the 4. Huh. Oh, well, that's... yeah, if you want to fill out your shelf, I guess this is another way to go. And I hear generally the Dr. Wu stuff is usually quite fun. Do you have anything else you want to say about these little Galvatrons, Orange?
I really like the dioramas they're displayed on, especially the clear Galvatrons when the space background. It's pretty.
Yeah, I wonder if that is like just a digital render. Like, is he photographed on a 3D backing and someone's just photoshopped the background? If it's just an image that someone's got for a poster, just a flat poster that they've got in the background, or is it something a bit more elaborate, like someone's built something? I really like the ground that they're standing on as well. Nice textured grounds with lots of nicely done bits of rubble and things, and it looks like it's been painted as well. Yeah,
it does look nice. I really appreciate a good diorama background.
Same.
I'm sure the Hasbro photographs will overshadow these, but I appreciate these. I'm sure we'll talk about them later.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always like you say, a diorama display. And it's one of those things that in my mind as a collector, I'm like, man, I'd love to display my figures like this. And then you go, it's just not possible. I don't have the room for it.
Oh yeah, same. I mean, room. It's a dream of mine, but I'm not going to get it there anytime soon.
No, I did have many years ago, I had this stupid idea, wouldn't it be cool to for your ground floor, your living room area, you dig a big hole in it, right? You make that a display diorama area and you put lights all around the outside and you have a hard glass top so you could walk over it and it wouldn't be dangerous. You could jump on it. Like skyscrapers, you can jump on the glass and you're not going to go through. And just in the floor, there'd be this really cool, just Transformers diorama. I think that'd be quite nice. But then
that'd be neat.
It would be very expensive and very difficult to do. And then I don't know how you would get the Transformers in and out. I wouldn't like the idea of locking them in.
I that's why I never want to get anything to lock my Transformers in. I have to pick them up. I have to. No, I'm not going to do that.
Trapped behind the glass forever. Kind of like Woody in Toy Story 2. Toys should be played with.
That situation is one of those you're going to have to appreciate it if you're committing to it.
Yeah.
And yeah. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I get that. Let's move on to a little bit of an interesting figure. Have you got the Legacy Voyager animated Optimus Prime, Orange?
I have, yeah.
Good, because I don't, so we can definitely talk about that, because I'd be interested to learn a bit more about it. Well, the story here is... apparently, it seems like there's going to be another release of this Optimus Prime figure with an alternate head. The original one had the grill, the face mask down, and this one seems like it's going to come with the face mask up. And I guess that is probably enough of a reason for Hasbro to do another release of this figure. Since you already own the figure, Orange, would it make you want to buy another Optimus Prime, an animated one, just for the masked up to version? Or are you not first?
Well, I have not watched all of animated. Maybe a little under a dozen. However, this figure is outstanding. The mold is fun to transform into pose, and he looks pretty accurate to the cartoon. Except I always joke about this. He's no longer a chin master.
True.
But honestly, yeah, I could see myself getting a second copy of this mold.
Really? Even though it would be, I'd say 95% the same, just with a very, very slightly different head. You'd still get it, you think?
I mean, maybe if it's in a 4-pack. If not, I'll just get the Motor Master that was leaked.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, of course. I forgot that was also coming. It would be interesting if this wasn't done as Optimus Prime, but it was done as Toxitron, because Toxitron was primarily from the BotCon comic, was I think primarily shown with his mask up, if I remember right. Yeah, so that could be fun. I don't think they do that, but you know,
I'd absolutely get. I mean, I'm all in for any and all Toxitron figures. I wanted the Galaxy upgraded Optimus Prime to be repainted into Toxitron, but I mean. That didn't happen. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So what you mentioned, I got to pick you on this because you mentioned it. You haven't actually watched all of animated before. What's the reason? Did it just not hook you? Did you not enjoy it, or what was that about? Out of interest, or no time?
Yeah. It's mainly because I wasn't hooked.
Okay.
A friend showed me the first few episodes, and I'm like, neat. Let's watch it again sometime. And well, that never happened for one reason or another. So I do intend to watch the rest of it, but not a priority.
No, I can understand. There are a lot of people who like rant and rave about how good animated is, and it does get good, but people I think forget kind of how rough season 1 kind of is. Because I think the first episode is pretty good. Like when before they get to Earth, before the Sari stuff, then they get to Earth and it becomes a bit more like, this is fine. And then I found a long time waiting for anything interesting to happen. Then you got Thrill of the Hunt Thrill of the Hunt with Lockdown is kind of a really good episode in that in the first season, and then maybe the episode with Blitzwing and Lugnut's pretty good. It's pretty okay. And then you got to kind of wait until the last few episodes, like the last two-parter when kind of Megatron makes his return, before it gets more interesting again. Those human characters, man.
I'll keep that in mind. But I do like the animated designs. I really want a Lugnut. I'm like full on like Commander Lugnut. Go all in, Hasbro, please.
Oh, do you have the Reveal the Shield Lugnut?
I do. It's so outstanding. I love it.
That's from what I remember currently. That's the best Lugnut figure because the one from the actual animated show, back in the day when it came out, everyone was like, "Why is he a Voyager?" And he's so small. He's so tiny.
Yes, he was adorable, but
wrong size. Not a great Transformer, but it's fine. But he's one of those figures where you're like, I wish they'd made him as a leader figure, and you wish he had this and this and this. And then the Reveal the Shield came out. He was the wrong color, but it was just a much better toy.
Yeah, definitely.
We really haven't had Lugnuts. The last Lugnut-ish thing we had was the Lugnut toy from Cyberverse, which was...
Clobber,
which was not a great figure because it was one of the cheapo kind of gimmicky toys. Because kids are stupid, I guess, which is Hasbro's mentality. And I think Clobbers should have got proper... There are a lot of things about Cyberverse and the children's toy lines that I think Hasbro should put more money into, but that's, that's the way. For me, I don't think I like the head sculpt for this Optimus Prime as... Do I like this one more or the previous one? I think the previous one, the head sculpt was, again, just too wrong to kind of get that Prime aesthetic, animated Transformers Prime aesthetic. I have seen a few like third-party and like 3D printed heads people have made for it, and I thought they were a lot better because they looked like animated Optimus Prime, and on the body made it look better. This still just looks a little bit off to me, so wouldn't really do it for me. I'm glad to hear the mold's good, though. Do you have any issues with the mold in general? Just like playing around, transforming it, etc., etc.?
Any issues?
Like any bits of the transformation when you're like, I wish this was transformed a bit smoother. I wish the joints were a bit tighter. I wish the pieces didn't kind of clank into each other during the transformation, etc., etc. That kind of stuff, you know?
I think mainly it's just nitpicks. Like the first couple times transforming, it was pretty annoying because I wasn't used to it. But once I got used to it, it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty creative how it transforms, and it's really neat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you'd give it a good solid score. You'd tell people to go out and get it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. We'll move on and we'll talk about the Studio Series 86, in quotations, Dead Ratchet. Possible first look, even though we have an image of it, but let's not dilly-dally and shilly-shally about that. I don't think this is a huge surprise. There was the Dead Einheit that came out. I think it's maybe a little disappointing, but not massively surprising that they're doing just a repaint and a new head for Ratchet. The chest seems to be exactly the same as the Dead Einhide. And obviously he has a new surprise Pikachu face for the Ratchet head sculpt. Because we had Studio Series Ratchet before, right? Did he come with these guns before? Did he come with different guns or a gun?
Those two guns specifically, yeah.
Okay, he did come with them. So the only new thing this figure has is the head sculpt, right? Because the original Studio Series Ratchet didn't have the surprise mouth, right?
Yeah, he didn't.
Okay. I thought when you said yeah, I was like, oh, he did? Oh, okay. Okay, so the only new bit is the head sculpt. Not a huge surprise to see this coming out. Like I say, a little bit disappointed. You've got the Dead Ratchet Prowl set. We talked about that just before we started the show this week. Do you want to add Dead Ratchet to the pile of corpses?
You know, I kind of do. I'm displaying them as like piles of bodies among my zombie transform. You know, the Sparkless from the Netflix. I have a whole army of them just like zombieing around, and I have those these guys. It's just, you know, on the ground around them.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's kind of fun. Do you think this will come in a 2-pack
With Braun? It's possible, yeah.
I didn't even consider it would come with Braun. I thought they might be lazy and just repaint the Prowl into Blue Streak or Silver Streak, even though they weren't on the shuttle. You know, just like
I never thought of that. Yeah, I never thought of that. But I think Braun's pretty likely. We haven't seen, at least I don't think, an alternate like shoulder sculpting for him.
No, I think you're right.
Hopefully with a blast effect port there.
You'd hope so. Yeah, I did. To be honest, I hadn't even considered that they might redo Braun. But that would kind of make sense because it would make the pack a little bit more worthwhile in a sense. Who did we see die on the shuttle? Braun, we saw die. We saw Ironhide die. We saw Ratchet die. Like primarily who actually gets shot. Because more
I think
than
it was just those 4 on the shuttle, unless I'm missing one.
There might have been more, but they might have been not animated. You know, that when everyone's dead, there might have been a few other ones just like flopped in the background somewhere. I can't remember.
Maybe they died off screen. They weren't on the bridge, and the other Decepticons sort of just went around shooting the survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the idea that doing the Braun with the blast effect, if you want to continue the quote-unquote Dead series, that would make sense, you know? I could see that. I would have preferred Ratchet to have a different chest plate, though, to be honest. Just because that's his boob didn't look like that when he got shot.
Yeah.
He had one nipple-ish area, one more sternum, you know, other side of the body. I think he got shot 3 or 4 times, but the front shield didn't crack. I get why they didn't do it because it's, you know, it's just a basic repaint, but if you're gonna do a repaint that's expensive, you know.
Yeah, I think they should have went with what battle damage Ratchet actually had in that scene, because we didn't see Ironhide's full damage because he got blasted by Megatron off camera, right? So I think it should have been more Ratchet centric.
Oh, you think that maybe they should have made the mold to be primarily Ratchet and then have Ironhide as kind of like the other mold. So primarily it's Ratchet and then we'll just repaint and retool the Ironhide. That would make sense. Yeah. Hasbro's done that before. They've released the pre-tool first. Is that the right way to say it? Pre-tool? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pre-tool. Yeah, I think that would have been a good idea. Because like you said, the only way you could have done Ironhide is let's assume Megatron went for a headshot and it's just like a head stump. So maybe you could have switched out Ironhide's head with wires sticking out from the neck ball joint.
See, that would have been nice. That
would have been pretty fun. It's either that or you shot him in the back. I'm trying to remember the angle. No, it was definitely, it had to have been a headshot because Ironhide was kind of clawing his way up Megatron's leg, wasn't he? Going, no. And I think Megatron would have just shot him in the face, being like, get off. No one likes the Ironhide.
Yeah, heroic nonsense, all that.
All that fun jazz. Yeah, so I like the idea that you said Braun might be coming, but at the moment, it's just Dead Ratchet, just another one. The Dead series, do you think they'll continue it? Do you think we'll get a Dead Insecticon set? A Dead Skywarp and Thundercracker? Dead Megatron? When they remake Megatron for Studio Series 86, they do a fucked up version of him.
Oh, maybe with a dead Starscream, a bag of sand with a smash crown. Yeah.
I'd only say they wouldn't do that because if I remember the Studio Series Megatron that's meant to be coming, he's meant to be a Voyager, right? Or is he a leader? He might be a leader. Yeah. I don't think they'd 2-pack with a leader. I think you could push 2 Voyagers together. I don't think... Have they done a leader and a Voyager before as a 2-pack for anything?
Recently. Pretty sure they had recently a leader and a Voyager.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I think. And by recent, if anyone in the audience wondered, recent to me would be like from Siege onwards. Before Siege, I wouldn't really count it. I can't think of a leader Voyager combo. If anybody mentions it.
Unless it was like just a little just packing them in a bundle just so you can sell them at a discount or something. And then they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, hello, Mr. White. Welcome. Hope you're doing well this evening. Shall we move on, or do you have anything else you want to say about young Dead Ratchet? Or Dead Ratchet?
That's pretty much it. He exists.
Cool. He exists. He's coming. Another toy that feels like he exists, at least in my eyes. Or this is the figure that should have came out originally, which I feel like I've said quite a few times with Autobots at the moment. Transformers Studio Series 86 Blaster and Eject. We've had the reveal at some point this week. Then we had, I think we've had official images. Now we've got in-hand images of him. So what is it? It's the Blaster toy we've had from Kingdom. From Kingdom, who's repackaged for Legacy, and we've had him a few other times. We had Shattered Glass version, and then we had Blue Billy. So this is the 4th. And if you don't want to count the repackaged, if you do count the repackaged, the 5th time this mold's come out. Is that right? Yep. Kingdom, Legacy, Billy, Shattered Glass, this one. Is there another one? No.
Nope. Just those 4 in this one.
Just the 5.
The 5. That's it.
Just the 5. Now, I'd say the best thing, before we talk about Blaster himself, I think the best thing and the only real reason you should get this, if you need to get it, is Rewind is not translucent plastic, which he never should have been.
Eject, yes.
Eject, sorry, yes. Never should have been translucent plastic, and this one isn't.
It felt like, because the first Legacy line was themed around this whole Energon weapon sort of thing, it felt like Eject was just an accessory just to be the Energon weapon of Blaster, right? But this feels like a genuine 2-pack. It's Eject proper, right?
Well, yeah, it's how he should have looked. It's nice to see that they even gave him the correct head, because like you mentioned, the translucent one had a gray head with an orange faceplate. This one has a white helmet, orange eyes, which are really hard to see in the image, but if you look close, you can just see he's kind of got the blue eyes with the orange-ish skin, in quotations, but then with the white faceplate as well. Excuse me, which is how Eject should look.
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's the version we should have got. It's a shame that every other version of Blaster, including Shattered Glass and Billy, they've all been translucent ejects as well. So this is the first of them. In differences in terms of like the mold, it doesn't really seem like there are any differences at all with the mold. It's just mainly painting apps. The face is now white rather than gray. The boob has a more cartoon accurate Autobot insignia. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Bigger deal is he has the right boob window. It was translucent before. Now it has the gray bars? Is that what you call them? Gray bars?
That's what I call them.
Yeah, gray bar-ish things. He doesn't have black on his shoulders. His hands, actually, all of the external limbs are now gray rather than black. A
Yeah, I
lot.
noticed they're doing that a lot in Studio Series.
Yeah, but I think the obvious reason, right, is because you don't color things in black in animation. Because if you do, it's really hard to do like shadowing and shading on them. So I think it looks a bit more interesting than just doing solid black. As the character calls for it. Are there any other bits of paint app differences? I don't think so. Just mainly, like, black has been shifted either to a light gray or a gray. There's not really any
There's
black
a
in it now.
couple little red dots near his feet.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of hard to see them, but yeah, they're kind of hidden in there, aren't they? Yeah. Huh.
It's minor, but it's appreciated.
It's extra detail, right? It makes him pop just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Have you got this mold?
I do. I have 3 versions of it.
Oh, God.
Regular Shatterglass and what'd you call him, Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
So 1 eject and 2 rewinds. They're the blueberry flavored eject and the cherry flavored rewind and the black licorice flavored rewind. Yeah.
Oh, is that how you remember them? That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I never got this mold. I was really tempted by the shattered glass one, but the shattered glass one never came down in price. So I was like, ugh. Especially for the amount of time that it came out. I might get this one, but I think I'll be put off again by the Studio Series up hike price, unfortunately, which is always a thing. I mean, what do you think of the mold? Do you think, I assume you're going to go in a 4th time and get him one more time to get the right version, right?
I gotta. I mean, like, if just to support Hasbro's initiative for really quality little guys, and the eject mold has been the best in my opinion since Earthrise.
Oh, interesting. I just imagine when you said "I gotta," the Dave Chappelle clip of him just saying "Ha, gotcha, bitch," and that's Hasbro. It's like they got you every single time they put out another figure. They're like, "Got you, bitch."
Yep, they got me on this, the 5-pack. I'm Hasbro's bitch. I am.
Justin Sharp says, I need the eject for sure, but I'm good on the blaster. I think you'll have a hard time trying to find the eject on your own, Justin. Maybe you can swindle somebody out of their eject, maybe. Mr. White says, some red I can spot just below the feet. Orange beat me to it. The white face is quite chilling. Chilling? Oh my god. I guess it's because he doesn't look happy. And I think maybe it would have been nice to resculpt Blaster to look a bit more cheery, because I don't remember him looking so sour, right?
Well, he knows that people won't be buying the set for him.
If you get it for eject, oh
yeah,
oh that's sad. Yeah, this goes into this is what the figure should have always been in terms of its kind of color and stuff like that. We've had that with the 4-pack that coming out recently. I think there are a few others, but I can't remember them offhand. I'm sure there are other Transformers I've mentioned recently, which have been like, this is the version I think everybody would have preferred to have gotten or had the option to get instead of this kind of weird in-betweeny half-assed kind of look for Blaster. So yeah. It's nice that it's coming, but it's also a bit of a bummer, especially like I say, because we are getting the Studio Series up hike price. How much is Studio Series for you usually, Orange? Do you know? Are they the same prices like a standard Legacy figure, the Voyager? I
believe they're a couple USD more expensive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So he's, I think they're like 32, 35 in the UK. I don't know how much Studio Series are, but I guess they're probably an extra £2 more, I would imagine. Probably. I tell you what I would have liked to have seen with this set to kind of justify it a bit more. I would have liked to have seen him come with his full cassette bros.
Yeah. I heard a lot of on TFW about the concern for Rewind. And honestly, I just say give him a couple more accessories, release him as a core class. I mean, if Hasbro's that worried about like popularity, he was in the IDW comics. He was a pretty prominent character there. So I wouldn't see an issue there either. You know.
I just think bumping up the price maybe a little bit more and trying to get in the tapes as well. Like, because in the, the scene, he releases all of his cassettes in one go. So it would be nice to kind of get them and just go, there we go, we got them. But I guess you could be right. Maybe they'll just do because they have done Rumble and Frenzy separately for Studio Series, haven't they? In the little individual core class boxes.
And Steeljaw was leaked for later this year too.
Yeah, that makes sense. It would, like I say, I would have liked to have seen him come with the rest of them, but I guess I get why he don't.
A core class would be better than buying Billy again, right?
Well, I'd say Billy should always come with Rosanna, because it's probably the only way you're going to get a Rosanna as well, and Rosanna's fun. Time traveling singer. True, yeah. Though if they ever did the full like Kiss player set, which is what's this? I can't remember what each of them are called. I remember Rosanna. There's the orange version of Laserbeak, which is pretty cool, and the white version of Ravage.
Thunder and Glit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glit.
Yes.
Yeah. And do that set again. I doubt it would happen, but you could do that set as a Generation Select set.
Throwing stripes in there too. Why not?
Yeah. Have like the box and have like a shadowy penis done Megatron on like the backing, but don't show the penis done. Just in like silhouette. You're like, what the fuck is that? It's like, oh, yeah, it's the meme. If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know.
If you know. Kiss players. Ooh. What a time. What a time. Moving on. Oh, hang on. Justin Sharp says they should have a multi-class box pack and call it the Sky High Nutcracker battle. Sky High Nutcracker.
Is that a reference?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the Sky High bit would be. Probably because Soundwave shoots them through the sky. First we break the shell, then we crack the nuts inside, is what Rumble would say. Before they kind of bust in and, they fight with Blaster and Preceptor.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I wouldn't mind a multi-class cassette pack. I mean, if we could have like a what's it called, Overkill and Slugfest, that would be
that'd be
cool.
Nice. Ramhorn, yeah,
it'd be nice. Yeah. Legacy Unite Warriors Deluxe Shard, Chromia, and Voyager class Cybertronian Starscream. So a few figures got revealed. We already have seen the weird rock helicopter thing. We heard about the Chromia. I think we'd even seen the Chromia, but now we've seen Chromia painted and ready for release. And Starscream, I think this is the first time we've seen the Cybertronian Starscream. I've talked about the rock helicopter. Orange rock helicopter. How are we feeling about it?
I love him. I do. He looks like the first armorizers were kind of like volcanic themed, like Obsidian, and what would they call him? Firestone.
Is that the one?
Of Magnius and Boulder Crash. This is the first time we see the armorizer mode of Shard. It looks pretty good.
Are you a fan of these rock-ish thing figures?
I am. I am.
What do you like about them out of interest? Because for me, I think that what fails them is I think they've got pretty boring looking color schemes. For molds that you could do very interesting stuff with a really good paint job.
Oh yeah. I think I didn't like the first two as much because of the color schemes, but this I think pops a little more. And the color schemes could be better, but then again, I like the obnoxious neon, not like 90s neon, and I think everything would be better in that, but that's just me. I like the weaponizer gimmick in general, so I knew I'd like these a lot, but I think they're a unique idea.
Can you tell me what he turns into for a weaponizer? Because I'm looking at Gears, and I have no idea what's happened to the helicopter thing. I'm looking at the weaponizer parts, and I'm like, what is this?
He turns into heavy rock things for weight training. It looks like, yeah.
Oh, that's what. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Gears is training up there. Yeah.
It looks like Gears has three arms, because there's one hidden in shade, which I assume is the rock guy's arm, just kind of hidden off to the side, like in shadow.
Yeah, that sickle-looking thing, that is an arm too, with his legs holding his legs. There,
So
yeah.
you're right. Yeah, I don't know why. My mind or my eyes read that as the black bit, which is obviously the hand I'm looking at now. I thought that was the waist joint, like the connection point where you'd have the hips. But it's not. You're quite right. It's the hand, which had the knee joint, the knee pegged into the top and the bottom, I guess.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I like the idea that you can give a character 4 arms. That's kind of fun. Bit of a Goro look. The weapon, in quotations, that Gears is holding with the double rock cannon goo swords coming out of the top and bottom kind of looks okay. The side bits on the shins, they're fine. I don't really know what they were going for with the leg scythe thing. It's interesting. Are you good at putting these things together into like unique and interesting modes, or are you more of a person that goes online to see the people who've bought like 20 of these kind of figures and made them into crazy, super cool combinations? And
honestly, a little bit of both. I like to experiment. I like to see what other people like a lot like Lego, except with little plastic robots instead.
Yeah. Again, for me, I think in some ways the Rock helicopter might be my favorite in terms of just how it looks as an individual on its own. Again, I think I mentioned before, but I'll mention again. The color scheme is the thing I'm not a big fan of. I would have liked to have seen this in. All you have to do is like go into Google and type in like geodes and look at some really interesting geode colors and sparkly patterns and whatnot. And this is very flat in comparison to that because it's a mass production toy. I tell you what, I'm interested to see what the customization community who like repaints figures will do with these. All of the Rock figures, actually, because I'm hoping they will just pull them apart and repaint all of them. Just make them into really fancy kind of color schemes.
Honestly, these are the some of the examples that I would use, not as toys though, but as characters to use the clear plastic on, because they would legitimately look like they're supposed to what they represent if they were.
No, yeah, I agree. I think you're quite right. It does have some translucent bits of plastic for the quote-unquote cockpits. I think if they'd done most of him or more of him in that kind of translucent pattern, and then, like you say, I don't know, throw some glitter into the mold or the what do I want to call it? The chemical they used to inject to make the plastic, just to give it a bit of a sparkle to it as well. That could have been quite neat. Because then it would be sparkly rocks. But yeah, helicopter dude, he's coming. Chromia, I think Chromia works a lot better than Prowl did for this mold. I mean, for animated Prowl, my big issue with this mold is again the paint. I think they missed a key thing about this Chromia. Generally, most Chromias have a lot more of that teal blue on her, a lot more. This does not have a lot of the teal blue. She's pretty much got teal blue for the shoulder joints and for the shurikens, and that's it. I really think this would have popped a lot more if maybe the bicep area was also teal and also the thighs were teal. I think that would have made, for me, the figure pop a lot more. Otherwise, I think this is good, and like I say, I think this is a lot better than the Prowl. I assume whenever we talk about these newer figures, you've got it right, Orange. So you've got the animated Prowl, right?
I do, yeah.
How's the mold for you?
It got a lot better than when I got it the first time. The first time it was, and I'm not a person that uses instructions, so the fact that I missed a few steps at first kind of hurt my opinion of the mold a lot, but it got better once I found out how to actually properly do. And yeah, it's a really good mold. It has good accessories. My problem with this particular version is it's not supposed. It doesn't look like the Chromia that it represents.
Which Chromia is it meant to represent? Is it meant to be the IDW one? Because it definitely doesn't look like that.
Cyberverse, yeah, Cyberverse.
Oh, Cyberverse. It didn't look like that one at all.
Yeah, exactly. I actually did. I think yesterday see an image of. I think it was like a video game concept art Chromia that this looks a lot like. And I think it should have been like in the Gamer Edition or something as that Chromia instead, because that would have been a great representation of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I as a representation of the character, I think Siege Chromia is better looking like the G1 than this looks like the Cyberverse.
Yeah, and in terms of like vehicle modes, I think the one that looks most like a vehicle mode is the one that they used in Legends. What was that mold from?
Oh, the
that Power of the Primes?
Prime. No, Transformers Prime. The second Transformers Prime RC mold, the smaller one.
That's right, because they remolded it, didn't they, to have like the cockpit on? But primarily it was still that mold. Just they heavily remolded it, I think, right?
Yeah.
That one had the best alt mode for her. But yeah, I mean, just looking at the images for the Cyberverse one, you go back to. Yeah, it didn't look right. What do you think about my criticisms about not having enough teal on it? Because I really do think having more teal would make the figure pop a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like the soft toothpaste color there. I think that works good, but the muted desaturated blue, I really don't like for this figure. The Cyberverse iteration had a lot more bold blue, right?
I think that's the problem. That kind of darker blue that you're talking about, the kind of almost kind of gray purpley kind of blue, it's a fine color, but it shouldn't be most of the figure. And it seems like most of the figure in robot mode is that color. It's not even just like the deep blue. And again, the problem is that kind of dark grayish blue mixes too close, at least for my eyes, with the tone of just like her normal standard ocean blue. I'm not a color person, so we'll go with ocean blue, like water blue. They're too close to each other, which is why the teal, I think, around the figure would have made it pop a little bit more. You called it toothpaste. Yeah. I call it teal, and that might not be. You might be more correct with toothpaste. It
looks really minty.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're quite right. Spearmint. Yeah, spearmint kind of flavored. It's a shame, because I would have been on board with getting this figure, because I don't have the mold. I remember Mikey said the Prowl mold was actually good. I just think it was a terrible rendition of animated Prowl, because it looks nothing like him. And I would have got this because I thought it looked like a decent RC, but Chromia, but then the colors are just not what I was wanting. It's kind of a bummer.
The head sculpt is nice, though.
The head sculpt's really good. I think the head sculpt's great. I'd like to pop that off and pop that onto some other figure, to be honest, but it might not work with the size. It might be a little bit too big. But the big boy, the most interesting, is the reveal of, in the background of the Starscream image, is that standard Silver Bolt, or is that a recolored Silver Bolt? This isn't the biggest thing, but I did notice that and thought it was kind of interesting.
It does look like the standard Silver Bolt.
You think so?
There are a couple repaints of the original Silver Bolt out there that look vaguely like that, but I don't think that's it. I think it's the original.
You might be right. I just saw the wings, and my eye kind of reads them as black rather than gray, but that might just be the lighting, I suppose, not being focused on him, but being more focused on Starscream. You're quite right. I don't remember a kind of Black Wolf version of Silverbolt either off the top of my head. But no, we have Cybertron Starscream. What do you think of Cybertron Starscream? I'll let you kick us off with your opinions on this. Excuse me.
I think he's perfect. I love the. He looked a lot beefier in his original toy, and that's fine. I love that aesthetic, but It makes sense that he's a little skinnier here because of the articulation he needs, and and his shoulders, where the shoulder blades come out, the literal blades of his shoulders, not his shoulder. You know what I mean? They like pop off in 5mm peg fashion, right? And they like forearm and well, wherever, right? I really, really like that. And it seems like they're kind of planning ahead for like a retool or something, because if they pop off, this mold can be done for a character that don't have those.
Or you could swap them out for another wing design, but I don't know who you'd do that for, to be honest.
There was like a plain character from the comics that I heard that he could be retooled into, and
really?
And I looked it up on TF Wiki, and he looks a lot like I don't remember which character it is, but it's a comic book character. If anyone knows who I'm talking about,
like an old comic book character, or more of a modern one?
IDW.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder who. Interesting. Huh. Any other thoughts about how he look, etc., etc.? Because I hear he comes with a Cyberplanet key, or he's meant to be coming with a Cyberplanet key, or a Force chip, if you want to go Galaxy Force.
Yeah, it looks like it's jammed in his back in his kneeling pose there.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
I really don't like how his belly guns don't articulate, but
that's a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nitpick. The original toy didn't, so.
Yeah, the only one that did was the Supreme, like super big Starscream that had the guns that actually moved, which was always kind of a shame. So I think generally this seems to be pretty good. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I think for me, what I'm looking for, one, I'm really happy to see he seems to have a waist joint. I think that's great. My main question is, how poseable are his shoulders? Because the original toy had pretty much no shoulder articulation because of the way that they were designed. And it doesn't look like in these promotional images that this Starscream has a huge amount of shoulder posing either. He's got ankle tilts, which are really good. That's great to see. But apart from the ankle tilt and the waist joint, which I am assuming he does have a waist joint, I don't think he's got that much more articulation than the original one, which I think is a bit of a bummer. Oh, he's got double elbow joints as well. That's right. Apart from that, he seems kind of similar to the original in some ways.
Yeah, I actually saw an image. It was an in-hand image of him from TFW, and it was a close-up of his butterfly joints on his shoulders, and what it looked like they were the same shoulder joints as the Siege mold, the Tetrajet mold. So it does look like he has really good articulation and might be able to do his the stance where he in the cartoon where he just flipped out his blades and he was like doing the cross sword sort of pose.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, that'd be interesting if you can do that. I'll find the first hand in images, because obviously someone got this figure because it's the internet. And has there's kind of a pose. They've kind of put these swords on the forearms to do that pose, and then use the butterfly joints as well. Keep having a look through the images. Yeah, the Cyberplanet key is there. It's not painted, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess you could do it because it's just grey plastic that you gotta. Silver paint that you've got to put on it. He's got a translucent gun. That's a bit of a shame, but I guess that's on the same runner as the swords and whatnot. I think this person's mistransformed him, because in the jet mode you can see some of the guess the heel spurs on the top of the jet mode, and they clearly shouldn't be there. Yeah, I'd say generally this is a pretty good figure. Again, I would say I'm not sure how big of an upgrade it is to the original. It looks like it's got some fun gimmicks to it, at least, which is kind of nice. I like the fact you can unpeg the back wings, is that what you call them, and give them to him as like hand axes. At least this person's done that. That's kind of good. Oh no, you can. The shoulders are fully extendable. You can get the shoulder pads out the way and get them into a T-pose. Okay, that's really good. Oh, that's great. Okay, this is better than the original one. Then I'm glad I looked at this. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the. I did like the Galaxy Force Starscream. I've never felt a huge need to get another version of him, but I don't think this looks bad. Is this the? Here's a question for you, Orange. Do you think this is the best Cybertron Galaxy Force legacy figure or recent iteration? I say that because, like, I don't think the Galaxy Force Optimus Prime that we got a few years back was great. It didn't really look like him. You know
I still think that iteration of Prime is just G1 Prime with Cybertron Prime cosplay, right? As great as this Cybertron Starscream looks, I really like Override and Metroplex better. They are so great.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. Sorry, you say Override. My brain goes Nitro Convoy because I was all into Galaxy Force versus the American version. But no, I know who you mean. I never got Nitro Convoy. She did look kind of neat, or he looked kind of neat, depending on which version you're using him as, I suppose.
Admittedly, I never watched Cybertron clear through. I watched Galaxy Force clear through a couple times, so I should be calling them by their Galaxy Force names, but I don't. I'm a dork like that.
Well, I mean, technically, you bought the figure that was called Override, so you're not in the wrong. I'm just stubborn and old. That's my problem.
That's valid.
I will say as well, I really like the image that this person has taken that has the Galaxy Force Starscream next to the Armada Starscream. I think they look really good next to each other. Have you seen that image?
I have, and yeah, I agree.
They look great. It's a shame that I heard that the Armada Starscream had a lot of issues to it, unfortunately, in terms of its build quality and stuff like that. But I'm hoping maybe this Galaxy Force Starscream will be a little bit better, because he does look good. Maybe I'll be convinced to buy it. Maybe I won't be. I don't know.
I think I lucked out in the quality control than on my Armada Starscream, because mine is great. I think the only problem is the lack of Minicon peg.
Yeah. One of the issues I heard with the Armada Starscream mold is when you transform the legs, they don't connect to anything like in the jet mode. You don't really peg them into the backpack, if you know what I mean. And I know some people have a loose joint, so the legs kind of droop down in jet mode. Do you know what I mean if I say it like that?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, okay. That would definitely be a problem if that joint was loose.
And I heard that some people, I think a lot of people actually had hip joints that would disconnect themselves if you twisted. I think it was the hip. If you disconnected the hip joint, like turned it left and right, the mushroom peg would just push itself out. I think I've seen a few people on YouTube mention that, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, my 3 copies of what's that one Junkion called, the Decepticon? What's her name? All 3 copies of mine has hands that do that, and it's so super annoying. Yeah.
Hang on, 3 copies?
I true build my Junkions. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I know so many people don't have that mold because of you. Because of the line being so rare, but yeah, mainly because of me.
You stole these toys from a child's hand, didn't you? You saw a little child and you kicked them in the face and like, no, I need one more.
It was only a couple times, okay.
Starscream looks great. I will mention for the Armada Starscream, if they do a Thundercracker or Skywarp, and I hear it's better quality, I'll get them. Because I did like the look of the original mold, but obviously I heard the QC problems. I think Thundercracker and Armada looks better, and I think Skywarp looks even better than that. So maybe they'll do them down the line. I don't know what you'd do this Starscream into, because Thundercracker was a completely different mold. Skywarp didn't exist, nor did Thruster Ramjet or any of the other jets. I know they did get repainted a couple of times, and there was a Skywarp. There was a mini-con Skywarp, which was just the small version of the Starscream, but he was repainted to Skywarp. There was, I think there was a Ramjet one, which was burgundy or maroon, and I think there was a Sunstorm as well, but none of them were in the show, That's what I mean.
Yeah, the Ramjet was presented as just the Western Starscream, the Western Cybertron Starscream.
The Voyager
was
right?
The regular release. Yeah. But
yeah.
it's totally not Ramjet. It was Thrust, and then Dirge was released in, I think, a 2-pack. And yeah, Hasbro has like a gold mine of like repaints from the Legends class. Like, this is another opportunity to get Sunstorm. Hasbro, please.
Yeah, they haven't really mined Sunstorm. They've done a lot of the Skywarp and Thundercrack and all that jazz, but I don't recall seeing a lot of Sunstorms, which is weird.
Yeah, there has been no Sunstorm since Siege.
Wow, really?
No Sunstorm in Siege at all. Like, they done Red Wing, for crying out loud.
No.
Why not the orange one? Come on, guys.
They did do Sunstorm, didn't they? Because they did the 3-pack of Acid Storm, the blue one that's not Thundercracker, and Sunstorm is like a 3-pack. Didn't
that
they?
Was
Nova
Storm.
Is that Nova Storm?
Yeah, Nova Storm.
Oh my God.
She was she was the yellow one and Sunstorm is sometimes yellow, but usually he's more orange than yellow. Yeah. So I call him the Orange Seeker to differentiate from Nova Storm. But yeah, it was Nova Storm in that pack.
Is it orange? I think it's more like yellow versus Sunny Delight yellow, right? Which
it's
is
sort of like
orangey.
a sherbet. Yeah. It's sort of like a sherbet orange.
Yeah.
I have that the masterpiece in that color, so
okay.
it's like orange and white. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. White says Gears can now defeat anything apart from navigating doorways. That's true with the backpack, yeah. And Mr. White says that Starscream really looks good. Lots of character. Does he get the crown? It doesn't look like he gets the crown, but if you happen to have a spare crown, which the person who took these images does have, you can plop that on his head. That, there've been a number of crowns over the years, I suppose. I wonder how many, Orange, do you frequent the Transformers community generally a lot?
I do, yeah. I go to TFW every day, yeah.
What were the vibes on the Starscream not having the spring-loaded swords? Were people annoyed by that? Or did they take it in the stride and understand that it wouldn't be possible to do that?
Honestly, I think people were just impressed that he came with the swords at all.
Yeah, that's fair, yeah.
Yeah,
he actually seems to come with for a Voyager in 2024, a reasonable amount of things, accessories, I think.
Yeah, at least 4 things, yeah.
Yeah, gun. I'll call the bits on the side of the body for the wings, I'd call that something. You can detach the back wings and make them into axes, and you can do the Cyberplanet key. Yeah, there's 4 things. I think that's more than you usually get from what I recall. So yeah, I'm surprised. The Starscream, now that I know has good shoulder articulation, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. Good luck doing Master Megatron. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. Oh, there's more of the Starscream. Yes. Remolds. Walmart are doing the Star Raiders line. Sure, and it's just another name for an exclusive. This line will consist of 4 Transformers, which are pirate-themed, in quotations. There's going to be Lockdown, Filch, Cannonball, and Ferrac. Unfortunately, Ferrac. So, I think everybody knew this was coming. The remold of the Junkion car dude who got turned into the Ladies Decepticon car that you mentioned earlier, Orange, is finally getting done into Lockdown, which is not a huge shock. I think people guessed that this was coming for a while. We'll talk about them each individually once I go through them. Filch is a retool of the Air Razor mold. That mold's been tried out a few times at this point, because that was done for Pterosaur as well, which has had its own number of repaints. Cannonball, which is getting clearly done out of the Red Alert mold, which is oddly enough a slight retool of the Skids mold, which came out originally during the first wave of Legacy. So that's pretty old mold at this point. And we also have Ferak, which is a Kingdom Cyclonus mold that's got a new face and has, I guess, slightly retooled wings so you can put on guns on the side of them. Let's start off with Ferak, because he's the one I think who looks the shittest, personally, and who might turn orange because he's mainly white plastic. What do you think of him, Orange? When I said orange, I meant discolored, not like you.
Yeah. Okay, so the Ferak originally was just a Cyclonus repaint, so I was not expecting any new tooling at all. Yet here it is, and it's kind of impressive in my opinion. I would just pose him with the new guns instead of Cyclonus's gun, which he also comes with. It looks really impressive for what it is. I mean, he could have just been a straight repaint, but he's not, and that's pretty cool, in my opinion.
Oddly enough, everything here has had okay-ish molding to pretty good molding, I'd say, which is, like you say, kind of a surprise. When I say I think he's ugly, my reasoning is the face. I'd either give him the description of two, and I'll give the less insulting one first. The face reminds me of Tornatron's face from that 1G1 episode, if you remember that. I don't remember what the episode was called. Tornatron was a stupid AI program that controlled a load of drone robots to try and beat up the Autobots at one point.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah. The more insulting look is it looks like an old woman's face. My explanation, because he's got like these cuts in the side of his cheeks, they look like wrinkly jowls. So when you get old, you get big lines down your face, right? Because, that's where your skin starts to sag. So it looks like he's got big saggy skin around the face and then a big saggy chin as well. So to me, it looks like an old lady robot.
That is a can't unsee thing, yeah.
I know, you're welcome. I saw that and was like, hang on, is it meant to look like an old person? I don't know. If that's the character, it's kind of fun. I will say I do like you said, the additional wing gun things. It's a bit awkward in jet mode because you have the little peg handles that'll hang down. Can't really do anything about that, otherwise there wouldn't be usable guns. But it slightly changes up the visual aesthetic of the jet mode a little bit. I remember Mikey didn't like this mold. I thought this mold was pretty fun. I didn't think it was like, I'm going to shit my pants, it's that good kind of thing. But I was like, this is fine. It was just, it had a weird Cyclonus face originally. It's now got another weird face. But I think this, again, for a retool for a store exclusive, I think out of all of them, I would imagine this would be the one people would have least interest in.
Possibly, yeah. Also, it's of note that his nose cone is retooled as well.
Oh, you're quite right. Yeah. It's not a big change, but yeah, it's a little different. I saw some people saying, when are they going to do the depth charge remold out of this or retool out of this, like New Age did? Did you see the New Age figure of depth charge, Orange?
I believe I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and they use the same kind of idea, just use it backwards, the jet mode backwards. I'm like, maybe. We'll talk about my most disappointed figure last. We'll talk about Filch. What do you think of Filch? Filch being a Transformers Robots in Disguise 2019? 19? Is that right? 2019?
I think 15, 16.
15? No, you're quite right. 15, 16.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, who never got a robot mode, never got a toy. So this is the first time she is getting something. I am sad to see the air rays and all get used again because I don't think that's a great mold. I will say it looks like, we don't have a great image of her face. It looks like they've not given her a nose. So they've given her a proper face. They haven't G1'd her face at all. She looks like the character, well, what you would imagine the character should look like. So that's really good. I'll give them props for that. Her bird mode doesn't, quite look like a crow. It looks good enough. I think it looks a little bit. Does it look more? No, because the bird mode's just not good. The bird mode's not good. I do like the head sculpt for it though, but I think the robot mode. I'll be honest. I'm just happy she's got a proper kind of prime era aesthetic for the head. What do you think of Filch, Orange? Do you like the vibes, as the kids would say?
I think this is my favorite figure, and I know the Eraser mold has issues, and I heard that people was wanting maybe one of the movie Eraser molds for this figure,
no.
But I think it's pretty good with this. It has a healthy amount of retooling. I like the techno organic look, because those are like techno parts that they added the tooling with, and I don't like the Transformers Prime aesthetic, the no-nose thing. I've poked fun at it in the past, but it looks decent here, I think. And she has nice colors. I really like this figure, yeah.
I think in terms of like representation for the character, I prefer that they keep to the aesthetic of the animation style rather than just change it, especially because it's meant to be legacy. But I get why people might not enjoy that actual aesthetic. You mentioned the kind of techno-organic kind of vibe. I guess you could maybe tell yourself, because it's techno-organic-y, that's why the bird mode looks a bit wank. Not like a proper bird, because it's not a real bird. It's like a robot bird. So it's like, it's okay for it to be a bit blocky. It is kind of like copium, right? It is kind of like you're just telling yourself that to make up for the bird's mode. But I don't know. I'll need to wait and see to see if I'm really tempted to get this version.
Was she really like organic in the show?
No, she was a robot bird, I think. I don't think she looked like she wasn't like AirRaiser, where you would like, oh, that's a bird, that is. Ooh, look at that. It was more like, oh, that's a robot bird. Look at that. And she's stealing my shit. From what I remember. My favorite one we'll talk about now is Lockdown. I think generally this is what I was really hoping for this mold. I was kind of tempted to get the Decepticon girl version that you mentioned, but the color scheme kind of threw me off. I felt it was a bit too background character kind of color, like you just put her in the background and she'd vanish. And I was hoping, people mentioned that the car mode looked like a Lockdown with a bit of tweaking, and I think it does. It's not perfect. Oddly enough, the head sculpt for this Lockdown is Revenge of the Fallen Lockdown, which is strange to say. But that was a really good toy, apart from its quality control on a few parts of him. That was a really good Revenge of the Fallen Lockdown figure. It looks like generally they've done a pretty interesting job with the color scheme to try and get the green bits on the legs and on the chest and on the stripe on the head. Does he come with a hook, or is that a hook weapon? That's a hook weapon, right?
That looks like a hook weapon, yeah.
Yeah. And I think the vehicle mode, again, looks pretty good for it. Looks pretty... I'm pretty happy with this. I think someone from like Repro Labels will come across with a load of stickers to like make the window screens pop a lot more and kind of fill out details in more of the vehicle mode. But I like this one. I'd be interested in this one myself. What about you, Orange?
Yeah, I think I'm getting just to. Well, I don't think I'll display him with my Junkions. I think I'm just gonna make a Star Seeker, or what do they call them? Star Raider shelf, rather.
Raiders, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
with
ThunderCon.
Yeah. So I'll get him. I think he should have been taller though, since the mold was obviously made with him in mind. They should have just went all in. But it is. It's doing what it's supposed to, yeah.
When you say that, what would you have liked to have seen them... When you say make him taller, like, do you think they would have made him taller, out of interest?
Well, he was just really tall and lanky as the reveal this year, or what was it? The Hunt for the Decepticons version of him was like super tall and lanky. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, how would you have made this bigger, do you think? Do you mean like add-on pieces to like extend the knees kind of thing? Or like what would you think you would have liked to have seen? Just increase the size of the mold?
Well, I I think it would have had to have been a different shaped mold from the very beginning, right? Since it was supposed to be him anyway. But out of this mold, I think if you want him tall, you could just extend his legs with other parts, since he's a weaponizer, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. No, quite right. You can definitely do that if you've got the parts for it, I suppose. The last figure on the list, like I said, for me, is the most disappointing, and that's Cannonball. And my main disappointment is because of the base he's using, which is the Skids mold. For me, the Skids mold was, if I'm kind, a very 5 out of 10 kind of transformer. It was not a very exciting transformer to begin with, and I got the crankcase, and again, just kind of felt meh. So I am sad to see that this is what we're using for Red Alert. He's not getting kind of a unique mold to himself. He's kind of getting a hand-me-down mold with some heavy retooling, but it's still the same transformation to it. I'm happy to see that they did put on the skeleton tampo, the teal tampo. That's nice. It's not correct. This is not what his tampo looked like at all. It was more of a bony skeleton on the side door and then a big skull on the top of the car. This is just it's nice, but it kind of just feels like we need to have a tampo on. There's no detail on the door. Just throw it on the door, and that'll do. I kind of wish there was a bit more to it, and that's the problem with this. I kind of wish Cannonball had a bit more to him. I like the fact that it looks like you can swap out like he comes with the gun hand, and then he has a claw accessory. That's nice. That means it'll be there for Red Alert as well. That's fun. The dual visor colors, so like he's molded in kind of gold plasticky look to his head, and then has like the black on one side of it. That's nice. They've got the color scheme pretty much down. I just don't like this mold, and I'm sad it's this mold. I guess it's my complaint. Orange, what do you think of Cannonball and basically Red Alert, right? Because this is pre-Red Alert that we've seen now.
Yeah, well, I think the mold is perfect for Skids, but Skids is a mediocre character, so...
Skids is a very 5 out of 10 character, so he gets a very 5 out of 10 mold.
Yeah, exactly. But I am surprised they went out of their way with retooling. I mean, he doesn't have like the iconic transformation, but like, how could you do that with the leg rotation, right? I don't think that's very viable. But I am impressed by their retooling. I like the little Star Seeker emblem on his chest. I like. It was pointed out that the skull looks kind of like the Valk from the Beast Wars cartoon.
I guess kind of. Yeah. I wonder if that's what they were going for. I don't know. Maybe I can see where people are coming from. Skull with kind of dangly hair dreadlock things. I don't know.
I do like this deco better than Cybertron Red Alert. So
yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a pickup for me. But he exists.
Yeah. I don't think he's the best iteration of Cannonball. I think the best one might be either the original version or the BotCon one that was done out of the Prime Ratchet mold, which is a pretty decent mold to begin with. So he looked pretty good. I don't know. I'm at the very least, I'll tell you what I'm hoping for. Selfishly, Orange, people will be stupid and people will go, "Well, there's a new Cannonball. I don't need my current Cannonball. I can just sell it for cheap online. Then I can swoop in and take it." That's what I want.
There you go, yeah.
That's what I want, because back in the day, I remember passing on Cannonball because I don't want this mold. I don't really like this mold. I didn't even really look at the color scheme. And then once I did look at the color scheme, much later, I went, I should have bought this. He looks really fucking cool.
And he kind of looks like a hearse a little bit.
Oh, you mean this version, or do you mean the original version?
The original.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
His original color scheme was outstanding.
Yeah. What do you think of him being effectively the Red Alert? So we know what Red Alert's going to look like as well. Do you think he's going to be okay for Red Alert for you? Or are you kind of like, oh man, I would have preferred a bit more for Cybertron Red Alert. Or Red Alert in general, because here's a question. Is there an Armada Red Alert coming? No, there is, because it's the Voyager one. Yeah. So this is going to be a Cybertron Red Alert at some point in the future, clearly.
I honestly don't have a problem with this being representative of that Red Alert. My issue with that Red Alert is more like canon because he's so short. I mean, Red Alert shrunk essentially between Armada and Cybertron.
Yeah, compact.
But yeah, exactly. But as a representation of that particular character, I don't have a problem with it.
Is that because you don't care about that character?
Pretty much.
I knew it. I could hear it in your tone. Mr. White says, might have been mentioned, but this feels like another bot cosplaying as Cannonball. What do you think of that? Do you think that's fair? I think that might be fair, but I don't know if that's... For me, I think that might be fair, but I don't know if that's because I know this is the Skids mold. You know?
I would honestly not mind if it was like an alternate universe Cannonball, which I suppose it very well could be in Hasbro's canon, you know?
Yeah, what's it matter? They just got these guys and shut up, Walmart, you can have these exclusives. Now get off my back. So for me, obviously, I don't know how these are going to be sold in the UK, apart from obviously through our import stores. Maybe they'll be through the Hasbro Pulse website. I don't know. There's only one I really want, which is like Lockdown. One I'm kind of maybe, which is Filch. And then if like someone bought Cannonball for me, I'd be okay. I'd be happy with him, but I wouldn't need him. And Farrak, old woman Farrak, I don't need. I don't need old lady Farrak. I'm afraid. Do you have issues, Orange, getting like these Walmart exclusives, or is it not too much of a hassle? Because for some people I know in America, like some people in Florida, they have real issues getting Transformers. Do you have problems with distribution in your area? Is it generally like it's fine?
Well, there wasn't actually any problem with distribution for the Speedia 500 collection. There was just, the short packing of Cosmos issue, which honestly, it was pretty fun tracking him down. It wasn't unpleasant for me, but the G2 set, it was kind of a pain to hunt down the two short packs there because we had to travel across town. And
who was the short pack out of interest?
The cherry one and the lime one were Dead End and Miami Sideswipe.
Oh, okay. Oh man, Dead End, really? Even though he's part of the Combiner, damn, that sucks. Yeah, Jesus, oof. And shame for Miami Sideswipe because I like that. I've got him. I like him. He's fun, very bright.
Supposedly, none of these are short pack though. There are two since there's two in this set that haven't been revealed yet. There's another deluxe Road Pig and another version of Thundertron for some reason.
Oh yeah, no, Road Pig's kind of poo because it'll just be that crappy like RC the redo of the RC Prime mold into like black and red. Ugh.
Oh, actually, there was tooling. There was tooling on Crash Bar that looks a lot like Road Pig. The like 3 headlights on his chest.
Which one's Crash Bar? Sorry,
the motorcycle Junkion weaponizer.
Oh, that might be. If that's the case, that could be interesting. I mean, he's still like Road Pig's got a bit of a boring color scheme because it's just black and red. But depending on what the retooling is, I was again kind of interested in that Junkion mold, and I don't think currently that Junkion mold's been used, has it? This would be the first time it's been reused.
Yeah, I have it, and it's a very, very good mold. I recommend it.
Yeah, I most of these Junkion molds, I was just like, I'd prefer to have them not as Junkions because I just didn't care about the Junkions. And he said a repackaged version of Thundertron, which will probably just be Thundertron, I would imagine, right?
It's at leader price actually, so he might have something packed with him, maybe a rock guy or something.
I'm trying to think. Is there a bird? Is there a bird they could give him as like a parrot, or a transformer like that's a bird that's smaller than Filch? I don't think there is. No,
not of the core price. Yeah.
No, none of the core class things look animal-y either to have like as a weird like space pirate fun animal monkey. No, I can't think of any.
They could throw in, not as the core class accessory, obviously, but like the Paradise Parakeet that came with Beachcomber.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, if there's a little peg and port you could plop him into. Yeah, that could be cute. I'm down with that. But yeah, that's this set. And then we've got finally the TFcon third-party panel. Granted, this won't take long because there's not been a huge amount of new stuff. So I'll have to look at the list, read the list, and then we can go through the slides. So Make Toys showed off Colorverse, Tangerine, as Michael Caine would say. It's a tangerine. You can't see it on screen, but the list's all on the side. There's Colorverse Paul. Star Toys showed off Trax. 01 Studios showed off a Primus. Robot Toys showed off an Optimus Primal and a Beast Wars Megatron. Magic Square showed off a Grimlock figure, a Sludge figure, and a Snarl figure, which I think we've seen before. New Age showed off Keaton, which is Hoist. Metagate showed off Blue Boy, and then Iron Factory showed off The Fallen, Sideswipe, and Leo Kaiser. And we also had what's his name? Not Leo Kaiser. There was Leo Zach they showed off as well, which we'd already seen. And what's the Jaruga? Jaruga was the other one. God, that just didn't come to me. DX9 minis, we saw a Chrome Dome, and then Power Master Optimus Prime. We got more images of that. Unique Toys showed off a movie Dino / Mirage, Skids, and Mudflap. Kang Toys showed off more of their stuff, and D-Spider. Mechanical Skull Studio showed off an Armada Skywarp and the Armada Starscream that have already come out. Skywarp's new, but it's retool. And Dream Star Toys showed off more of their Superion figure. The Transport showed off Mini Transport 01 Vanguard, which is Hotspot, an Ironhide and a Ratchet. Fans Toys showed off a Ultra Magnus Hook, an Ironhide, and Ratchet. Mastermind Creation showed off Harmony, Melody, a Hotspot, Defensor, Mixmaster, Scrapper, Devastator, Rollbar, and Fans Hobby showed off their exclusive for the show, which is Wingman. They showed off Star Saber, the Star Saber from Armada, the Requiem Blaster from Armada, and Black Naval Convoy, which is Armada Optimus Primal, and Tidal Wave. Okay, so the color Make Toys Studio, the Starscreams, an orange, a mostly white, but then orange boobed Starscream, and then kind of the background Starscream color for Paul. Do you have any thoughts on these kind of Make Toys masterpiecey Starscreams orange? Especially these kind of boring ones, I would argue.
Okay, so there's a lot here. I'm going through these, and there's the Starscream.
Yeah, the Tangerine Swarm, these called.
The Armada Starscream, right?
No. It's the if you go to the top of the slides, it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth image.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Tangerine.
It looks like a G2 Starscream. Yes.
I think he's a background color Starscream, I guess, because G2 is like red boobed and then bits of gray on him, and then purple hands.
It was sort of camo-ish.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what this one's meant to go for, but I'm 90% sure Paul, the next slide, is just meant to be background seekers to die. I don't have much to say about these, because they're just like, it's that mold again. Here they are.
It looks cool, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently, they're going to be limited 200 pieces per figure worldwide, so I guess that's a good idea if you're going to put these out. It's probably not going to be a huge demand, so make them limited, and maybe more people will want them. That's
good luck troop building them. That's all I'm going to say.
No, there'll be one person that buys like 100 of them. I'll have them.
We exist. I'm sorry to say.
Star Toys, who I don't remember offhand, but it might have been a company I've talked about before, we've talked about on the show before. They show up for tracks. It's a CAD model track, so, I kind of shrug my shoulders and go, well, that looks like a tracks. I hope it turns out well. Looks like they're using a decent amount of clear plastic for the roof of the car and the windshield of the car, but he's going to have all 3 molds and the little gun, and he's going to have the little alien face and a few other faces you can replace the main one with. There was a prototype at the show. He was doing a huge kind of martial art kick. What do you think of the tracks then? Not that there's a lot. There's only like two images of a real one.
This is supposed to be masterpiece tracks?
A masterpiece tracks. I imagine so. Looking at the size of the image 12 in the hand of someone, it looks like, unless they've got tiny baby hands, it looks like it's probably a masterpiece scale.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm never a fan of those masterpiece hands. But
no, me neither. Like
the proportions of this tracks looks very satisfying. I like it when like they do the like faux chest, so like the like car hood looks a lot smaller than proportionally, like, because like it makes the limbs look more proportional. He doesn't look all short and stubby like say the Generations tracks did. Remember him? Yeah. I like it. I'm looking over at my Kingdom tracks in disappointment. I hope he gets a new official mold. But
tracks. I will say this one has a really clean bottom for like the underside of the car. That's the only. There are 2 images of the prototype. There's him doing a massive like kick up to the sky, and then the bottom of the car mode, and that's it. But the bottom of the car mode looks very, very, very clean, which is quite nice, I suppose, if you want to flip over your cars and whatnot. But yeah, masterpiece tracks. It's Pog. We have the Primus, which we've talked about. Well, I've talked about on numerous occasions. Do you have any thoughts on this big old Primus figure? Have you desired a Primus in your life?
Well, I have the Cybertron Primus, and that's probably as good as I'm gonna get, because I don't really care about owning another one. No. However, this guy looks beautiful.
Oh, we actually see a colored version of the Alpha Trion he's coming with too. I forgot he was coming with that. Oh, that's okay. It's quite nice.
I really like the greebles on. I like seeing this amount of greebling on a third party figure. It's nice to see. But of course it's needed on Primus because he turns into a planet, and of course he would have a lot of panels and whatnot for him.
I don't know if I'd ever noticed this before, but if you notice on the big old side panels on his forearm, there's actually like cities and buildings on the side of that panel specifically, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's really rad, and they're probably doing it on this figure. But the Cybertron Primus had like places on him that are like references to places in canon, like on the comics and the cartoons.
Yeah, that was. And I think for like a standard release, like general, like in stores Primus, that was okay. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't great. It was better than the Supreme Starscream, but it's like, yeah, it's not bad. I don't think it was as good as the Armada Unicron, though. That was a really good figure.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to look up what city is which. I don't know if you're like a canon like trivia person. That would be fun.
I like it when people tell me. I'm not bothered enough to go and check myself. I'm lazy like that.
Yeah, I don't recognize that city, but it's somewhere out there might.
Robot toys. These are the Megatron, well, the Beast Wars Megatron and Optimus Primal. Again, I've talked about on the show previously. We've just got some more kind of nicer images of them. If you want a version of Beast Wars Megatron and Primal in more robot-y animal modes rather than like realistic in quotations, like more animation, real animal forms. I guess these will be options for you. Any thoughts on these ones, Orange? How do you think they've represented, like, the idea, the essence of the Beast Wars characters here?
I'm trying to get my eyes off of that low polygon beast head on Megatron. They look decent. I like a good representation. I like a good Beast Wars style character, except like robotic, more like robotic. I really like the Cybertron, Optimus Primal, and Megatron.
Oh, they were neat.
These sort of like are kind of in the spirit of that, and they look pretty good. Yeah.
Oddly enough, I think that's a good kind of, they're a midway point between the original toys, these ones, and then, like you say, the Cybertronian kind of interesting, weird takes on them. From what from how it looks here, it seems like the Megatron's been shown with the accessories of his hunting cannon, because why not? He has an open hand and looks like he's holding something, but I can't really tell what the other hand is, but it looks like he's got something for the other hand. 2 different mouth expressions. It's not like you change the face, it's literally you change like the rectangular shape around his mouth, and he's also got the toothbrush, because let's be honest, the most important accessory for a Beast Wars Megatron is the toothbrush, and that's a fact.
Absolutely. Totally agreed.
Sorry?
I'm really glad that they included just the plain hand on the left side, removable tail.
Yeah, that was one thing I never liked about my original Beast Wars Megatron, was the fact I was like, I didn't think this tail was like his entire arm, and it wasn't. It was just that because it was the toy. I always wish it was removable, and thankfully from that point onwards, they pretty much were, which was good for any other iteration of Megatron after that. Magic Square, I've talked about again the 3 Dinobots that they showed off last week. Magic Square, these are Legend scale-ish kind of Dinobots, Orange. How do you feel about Legend-ish scale? Oh, there's actually a colored version of the Grimlock that they're showing as well. And that looks pretty nice. I don't know what the fuck it's playing basketball with, though. What's that weird chicken thing? Image 42, if you wondered, Orange.
Oh, let's see. Oh, there it is.
What the fuck is
that? I have no idea. Some sort of chicken with hair and a basketball. Yeah. I really like the articulation on Grimlock's beast hands there.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice. Yeah. It's not the thing. To be specific, if people wondered, the fingers aren't articulated, but he has, like, for his dinosaur hand, like a ball wrist joint, so he can kind of tilt them inwards as well. That's kind of unusual, especially for a Legend scale thing. So I like it. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a nice picture of the toy just in a mound of snow in maybe China or Japan. It looks quite nice, just laying there. New Age, this show off Michael Keaton, which we're going to call him for Hoist. It is only a 3D render, so it's not the real one. But again, this will be a Legend scale Hoist toy. I kind of always wish that not Magic Square, New Age, I should have said, New Age would do the more interesting kind of characters, but we're going through the G1 cast, so, Hoist it just makes sense to do. Anything on a small boy Hoist?
I like how they done the arms, the cannon arm and the hand pose. I always appreciate the extra hands that the little guys come with, so you can swap them out for different poses and whatnot.
No, I agree. Especially for a third-party company to give you extra hands. I don't think it's a prerequisite, but kind of feels like it should be in some ways. I think, at least. I think so. I don't know if they've done a warpath, but there's a warpath in the background of the Michael Keaton image as well. I don't think they have done. Have they done a warpath? I can't remember. Either way, they either have or they're doing one. Metagate, doing Blue Boy, which is Bumblebee movie Dropkick, right? Yeah. Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, okay. I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure Metagate did a pretty decent shatter, which I think was well received. So I'm guessing they're going to go on and do the next one, which is Dropkick. So that's good. That makes sense. It's a gray render, so I don't think there's much to say there. Iron Factory, my boys. The boys I want more stuff from. They didn't really show anything new. We've already seen these images of the Fallen on fire, which I'm still kind of, do I buy that when it comes out? I don't know. Looks pretty cool. The fire effects for it are pretty cool. Tank mode's a bit boring. Looks kind of, if you wanted to, my description of the tank mode, I'd say it's a tank mode from StarCraft. Kind of looks like one of those tanks. The Terran tanks. You know what I mean. There's an image of the Sideswipe Ninja again, which looks okay. Jaruga, who I mentioned before, and we see a load of him in his poses and his knives and his big old Wolverine claws that we've talked about before. The fans. We also see Leo Zach. I don't know if I talked about the images we saw of Leo Zach. These are proper, like, this is what he's going to look like. His Boob Master, his Jet Mode, which looks really cool. Yeah, all of the promo shots and then what they're going to look together. Oddly enough, the next story is just like in the cabinet, and we actually see an in-cabinet completed Leo Kaiser with the finished Kill Bison, the finished Drillhorn, the finished Jaruga, the finished Leo Kaiser, and then the two Hellbat and the bird one, who I can't remember off the top of my head. They're in prototype still. But you get a good idea of them. What do you think of the Iron Factory stuff, Orange? Do you like the Breast Force?
I like that team. I'm quite fond of them. This iteration, though, do the extra combiner kibble, does it do anything?
When you say the combiner kibble, do you mean like the giant legs, basically?
The frame that everyone attaches to.
No, well, no. The idea behind them, from the one component I have so far, is they are there to just be like, you get Kill Bison and you plug Kill Bison into that leg, and then it has a load of solid articulation. That's the idea behind it. So it doesn't do a lot, but it has a lot of articulation. It's there to look nice, as nice as it can. I guess the idea is like, you know how Motor Master did it for the Stunticons for Legacy.
Yeah.
Like that, better.
Yeah. I'm personally I'm a Hasbro boy. I like various amounts of gimmickry, not too gimmicky, but like if the combiner kibble like transforms into anything, I would like it a lot better. That's my take.
Okay, that's fair enough. And what about the Fallen?
Those blast effects do not look like they come off.
Yeah, I don't know if that could be a real fucking problem, transforming him just with bits bonking in the way. They must be unpeggable, right? They have to be.
It would be nice. Yeah.
It'd be crazy if they weren't, if they were just stuck there. Because I imagine that would make transforming him a real pain in the ass. It has to.
Yeah. Especially because the joint that they're attached to is also translucent, and that would be kind of scary if they're not removable, because if you bump into one, they might crack.
I would imagine this plastic would not be done in the translucent plastic, but would be done more in the blast effect kind of plastic, you know, the slightly more malleable kind of plastic.
Yeah, that would be better.
I would guess. I don't know. I'm interested to see what this guy is like when he comes out for realsies. Whenever that is, which I don't think we've got like a number for the release dates on most of these Iron Factory stuff, or just third party in general. DX9 Mini, more images of their small chrome dome. I can't remember if these are new images. I'm guessing they are, because I did talk about this guy. He is very, very small, as an Ent would say. I think I saw a TikTok video that had the headmaster itself in a pair of tweezers to show you how small it was, and it was pretty diddy, with still okay articulation as well. What do you think of the Chrome Dome? We don't need to talk about the Power Master Optimus Prime, because there's no new images for that, seemingly.
This guy is so small and cute. Like, his car mode is like it. it had those proportions. I mean, it's weird. It's silly, and it doesn't look like an actual car. It looks like a play school.
I was thinking more like a bumper car, that you'd find in a fairground. Like it's Chrome Dome, and we've made him into a bumper car. It's like that's why he's always kind of squished and weirdly shaped. That's how I kind of looked at it.
Like Hasbro made Chrome Dome a plane now.
Yeah, okay. It feels like they focused on the robot mode, and then they went, we'll kind of get the vehicle mode. It's going to be very panely and stubby, and not quite right, but it's gonna look like a pretty decent, solid robot mode. Is how it feels to me.
That's valid because the robot mode does look spot on.
Yeah. Again, this is like legend scale, so he's going to be really fucking small. But yeah, the vehicle mode is kind of it's fine. For the size, it's like okay. But I think the robot mode is where it's at. Unique toys. We have the movie dude with the whips. I can't remember who I said this was. Do you remember? Oh, Mirage.
Dino?
Dino Mirage. Yeah, I think it said a Dino Dinobot thing. Yeah.
The only reason I remember Dino is because I really want the Diaclone Red Mirage to be named Dino because
that'd be fun.
Character maybe, yeah. This guy looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
As far as Bayformers go.
Yeah, like again, I don't really care for Bayformers, but if you told me that this was from a weird like Ghost in the Shell Japanese anime mecha show, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. And I think the toy looks really good. The car mode looks really nice. That car mode looks like a model car. There's very few. I don't know whether it's because it's red and it's absorbing a lot of the image data, but a lot of the panel lines for the vehicle mode are kind of a little bit disappearing. It might actually be because of the red, to be honest, because red's hard to photograph. But I do think this looks good. Like you say again, even Bayformery kind of thing. I'm like, solid. You like your Dino?
He does look like a really, really awesome mecha anime villain, yeah.
Oh, villain, yeah, 100%. Oh, and we've got more prototype images of Mudflaps and Skids, which I talked about last week or the week before. Are there any new images of them? Yeah, no, there's not. Kang Toys. I'm sure I've talked about the long yang before. No, we have. Yeah, I have talked about these because these are the Dinobots that Kang Toys are doing. The super Gundam-y Japanese mecha anime version. We've just got a load of promo images of Swoop and Swoop in arm mode as well. Oh, that's cool. They've shown the hand transforms into a little spider. That's very cool. That looks really good, actually. Have you seen that image, Orange?
Yeah, these I really like. I love the idea. I like like I said, I like when the combiner kibble does something and the combiner kibble turning into a robot itself. That's peak right there.
Yeah. What do you think of the Kang toy aesthetic? Because it is, it's a very deliberate aesthetic, and I guess you'll either if you don't like the very Zoidy kind of look, this will be very against what you would want from a robot toy or Transformers, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I have my Legacy Thundertron up here as my fiddle toy for today. I really like the Zoids aesthetic. Yeah, I mean, not as a Transformer because, well, I mean, it doesn't look like who it's supposed to look like, but that's deliberate and it's like super stylized, and I can appreciate that. I really like how these look.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think for me, the big reveal here is Spider-Hand. I think Spider-Hand looks really cool. It's a very small thing, but I think it looks great. Really, really good.
That's perfect, yeah.
And Mechanical Skull Studios. We see the Skywarp version, so they have got remolded pieces in here. They've also got his Minicon. They've the wings on the side of the cockpit I mean, they're new, but I don't remember if they're on the original toy. I hear from Big Swing and D that this is a really good figure, if I remember correctly. And if I was to get one, it might be this, because I do like the Skywarp mold a lot. I think it's really cool. I don't think we... do we see the... No, we don't see the Minicon transform. The Minicon might not transform, just because of its size.
Yeah. Is this... how big is this figure? Just to...
I'm pretty sure where they've got an image of the Starscream with a Diaclone-sized action figure. So I think... Oh,
yeah, that's...
So granted, I don't have a Diaclone-sized action figure, so I assume this is Legend to Deluxe scaled, I would guess.
It looks deluxe scaled. The Diaclone figures, I think, are 1/60th scale. Okay. So...
if listeners are wondering and haven't seen the image, it's not the actual big Diaclone robot. Specifically, it's the little humanoid pilot. If you've got one of them at home and you know how big that is, that comes up to about... Well, it doesn't even come up to his knee. It comes about up to over halfway up his shin, I guess. Yeah, over halfway up his shin, give or take. But yeah. How do you think they've done trying to represent Armada Starscream, especially since we talked about the Hasbro one earlier on in the show?
I think they've done pretty well. They have, they nailed his shape, and it just looks like him. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I really like the Greebles though. I'm a Greeble fan.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of Greebly bits on like his shins and arms, way more so than an animation accurate would have him. Dreamstar Toys. We've seen. I can't remember who I said these guys were, but I've definitely talked about these guys before. Oh, it's the Superior jets of different descriptions. I don't know if these are fully colored or not. I think they are, but I kind of hope they're not, because they're all just kind of metal colored with very little color in them, which I think is a little bit boring.
I don't know. It looks pretty colored to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I kind of want like color on them. They are just metal. Even in Superion mode, he's just mostly gray metal with very small bits of red, and then just red boob. Red boob looks good. That's really the most color you get from him, but to me there's nothing to draw the eye here. It's kind of boring. It's like looking at an uncolored Michael Bay design. There's too much just bits of gray broken up with bits of black, broken up with even smaller bits of like coppery gold, with even smaller bits of little tiny bits of red here and there. It's just too much. It's too much without any color separation or distinction, which is a shame because it looks pretty intricate. What do you think of this then, Orange?
Yeah, I'm not a fan for the aesthetic either.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant.
No, it's just it needs color. I think it'd still be too bitty with more color on it. It's just difficult on the eyes.
I don't even think I like the proportions, like small thighs, tiny hands, tiny head.
Yeah, no, you're quite. I'm looking at the thighs. You're definitely right about the thighs in comparison to the shins. Yeah, 100%. For me, it's hard to tell if the hands are small just because the background is black and the hands are black, and then the forearms are gray. So for my eyes, it's hard to get a real distinction on how big those hands are. I think you're right about the head, though. The head looks kind of small as well. Yeah, proportions are a bit weird. They're strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're not hitting me, I'm afraid, guys. Transbots. That's right, they're doing their Defensor. These are all CG renders, so they look kind of rough. So these CG renders kind of look very, very basic-y. I don't think transbots have a good reputation, generally speaking. They show off an Ironhide as well. And again, the Ironhide kind of looks... Is it mean to say they look kind of cheap for third party? Is that mean to say?
Possibly, but I don't think it's not accurate.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you know what I mean by they look cheap? I don't know what it is about it, but I look at these and there's something that just looks lower quality about them than like the rest of the third-party stuff that we've looked at. Can you put into words what I'm trying to get across, do you think? Like,
I think it's like
sorry.
The thinness of the panels and the it looks almost like hollow and like thin plastic, especially in the legs.
Yeah.
I do want to praise it for like the I don't know what that base thing's supposed to be, but I do like it. That's the only thing that I like about this.
Oh, do you mean for the hotspot?
Oh yeah, the hotspot. Yeah.
The I guess the base mode is meant to emulate the repair bay mode the original one had, in quotations, which was always kind of a okay. Sure, he's got a base mode. Oh, love it. What is it? No one knows. No one played with it. I never played with any of these guys in their quote-unquote base modes because it was stupid. The Ironhide, again, kind of looks weirdly cheap in the usual X-Transbots kind of style. But hey, if you're in the market for more X-Transbots, they got him. The Ironhide seems to come with some interesting accessories. You can give him a fully red face if you want, which I guess is trying to emulate kind of the original toy. Even though the original toy had no face. He has a lot of guns as well. And a flamethrower? The backpack with a flamethrower on? And skis. I think those are skis. So it looks like he comes with a lot of accessories, which I guess is kind of nice. It is a flamethrower. Oh. Mr. White says they look very basic. If they had any accessories, then that would help the bots a bit more. What they do? And Mr. White says, "Oh, they have accessories. Why not have the bot hold that? Makes him look better." Well, he's holding some of them, and he's got a metal detector. I forgot he had that. That's so weird. So weird. Yeah. Again, there's just something about these that, to me, I don't know. I'd rather a different company.
The little drone is nice. Other than that,
yeah. Sometimes you look at a figure and you just go, I don't know. They're doing a Ratchet as well, so that'll be the same. Fans Toys show a Ultra Magnus, a Masterpiece scaled Ultra Magnus, which looks like it will have a inner white Optimus Prime. You know, because that was the style of the time, or still is the style of the time, I suppose. Very poseable, it seems. Actually, the kick into the sky, if you look at panel 228 orange, it's quite an interesting pose because they've clearly got the waist joint on a hinge and they flipped the hinge fully forward. So it's got this big gap between like the hinge and the hip joint and the top of the torso. And they've tried to fill that in or cover it up by having the leg go directly upwards. Like if you looked at this figure from a different angle, it would look really, really strange. If you see what I'm saying.
I really dislike how some figures have that cut right in the middle of them just for the ab crunch.
Yeah. Some of the time it can work, but it needs to be for really specific images. And you try to trick me here. You didn't do it. What do you think of Ultra Magnus? Clearly, he's going to be big bits of armor on top of an Ultra Magnus, as is the style of the time, of course.
Yeah, I really like how the proportions of the armored up Magnus. It's really satisfying to me. It's like the big chunky limbs and like how like his head has has presence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how like lavender the gun is. I don't know why. I don't know if that was the color of it in the cartoon, but it looks really nice.
Yeah. I don't think it was that color in the cartoon. I thought it was white, like the original toy. I can't remember. Either way, I would agree. It's a really good looking Ultra Magnus. It's There are lots of them at this point in time. A lot of them. He seems to come with a decent chunk of faces. I really like the half and half Ultra Magnus face, where it's like half of his helmet has been cracked off and it shows the white Optimus Prime helmet on the other side. I think that's kind of a unique swappable head. I think that looks really cool.
I think that's from Dreamwave.
It'll definitely be from Dreamwave. Definitely.
That reminds me, that like style. I really want Hasbro to do that with like, if they're going to do the like all-in-one Pretenders, maybe do that in like a sort of Terminator way, where the inner bot like shows through like that, just like a cracked in half face or something.
That'd be fun. I don't think Hasbro would do that, unfortunately. I'd like to see it though. They also show off a Scavenger. He's got some really nice colors on him, actually. And they show him off with the Scrapper. They show him in Devastator Arm mode and Vehicle mode. And they show Scrapper in Leg mode. How are you feeling about Scavenger? Because, like, I've said this many times on the show, it definitely feels like I'm at that point where it's just, well, here's another Constructicon. He's especially third-party Constructicon. It's like, yep.
That is really, really deep lavender.
It is, actually, yeah. Do you think it's too lavender?
It's got to be purple to me, or
is it lavender, or is it meant to be kind of a metallic-y purple? And because of the camera flash, it's looking more lavender. I wonder.
I don't think so, because I think there are better ways to like pull off a metallic purple.
I think you're right. I'm trying to help them.
I really like how they done the hand though, like the shape of it and like the little tube thing going down the wrist.
Yeah, it looks like that the thumb joint is kind of unique. Like they haven't just put a ball joint into the hand. They've actually giving it God, what do you even call that part of your hand? You know, the thumb. The part that the thumb is connected to.
The base of it. Yeah,
whatever that is.
It looks more natural. I think third-party companies are doing a lot better on combiner hands, because they originally they looked like total crap, and I just I never liked the early combiner hands. Even around like the Combiner Wars era, I'm like, what? I'd rather have the hand-foot guns, guys. Seriously. But these are really nice.
Yeah, these ones are great. They look really good. They can splay the fingers open. It looks like they've got the usual hinge joint for the actual indexes or the fingers itself. Then, like we say, the thumb looks really good. It's a really good hand. I hadn't noticed that, so thank you for pointing that out. They also have an Ironhide up, and unlike the X Transbots one, it looks a lot better. You just look at it and then you're like, oh yeah, this compared to the other one, it's way better. Way, way better. They show a Ratchet as well, you know, because why wouldn't you? It looks good too. Oh, interestingly enough, he's got a few different heads. One of them looks animation accurate, and one of them looks IDW. Oh god, what era of IDW? Fuck. All Hail Megatron era IDW, I think.
Maybe.
I'm thinking of no Ironhide Mini. Do you remember the Ironhide Mini? It looks like that head, I think. If you don't, that's okay, because there's a lot of IDW.
Yeah, there is, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry though. My gaze looked directly at that window, and it's totally detracting from the look. I think he would look a lot better if not for that, but like it just looks too square and plain.
The reason I wouldn't complain about that is because it might look completely different with color on it. You might be right, and it might look a bit weird and wonky still, even with color, but it might be okay unless like strange to the eye once colored, because sometimes that just happens, you know. Sometimes you'll look at a prototype that's gray and you're like, oh, that looks terrible. It gets paint on it and you're like, oh, it's all come together. But no, you make a fair point. The boob does look a bit off just looking at it.
And flat, like super, super flat.
Yeah. That's how people like them flat like a pancake. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I suppose it's some people's thing.
Some people like dumpies. Some people like them like slabs of granite on the floor. I don't know what to tell you. To each their own. Ratchet's got a different kind of head as well. I'm not sure what the head's going for, though. As I slowly choke on my own vomit. I don't know. What do you think the heads for the new head for Ratchet is going for? Is that IDW? I think that's IDW as well. At least in the era.
It looks really familiar. I love that smirk, though. So great.
Yeah. The actual expression. That's something that I'd like Hasbro, again, to get more into, putting expressions onto their Transformer molds. Appropriate Transformer expressions for specific characters. It's something that they don't do really at all. They just give them the sad, like, emotionless face these days, which is kind of a bummer. Third party can be up and down with them, but I like to see it. Mastermind Creations, they show off a Rosanna. We talked about Rosanna earlier. Obviously a repaint of one of the cassettes. I don't know which. Looks a bit thin to me. I think this is the problem I've had with their take on the tapes. They don't look bad. They just look very, very slender, I suppose.
Lanky.
Yeah, lanky and slender. It kind of works a little bit better for Rosanna, because, you know, pop star kind of aesthetic and whatnot. But yeah, there's something about the visuals for these that just don't look quite right. Oh, there's a nice picture of her petting Glit. That's cute. I like that. You see that one?
Yeah, I did. I love that.
Yeah.
I also like how the shoulders can go back and it kind of splits the chest. But what I really dislike is the face. It's like 40% visor and like 50% forehead, and there's the 10% mouth plate there.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate, is it?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so. It looks really weird. I thought there was something off about the face again, but I didn't want to pull it off because I mentioned it because I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but I thought it was just due to the lankiness of the body. But again, you're quite right. The percentage of visor to face is hilarious, actually. Kind of hilarious. Does she come with a microphone? I don't think she does.
I don't see it. Ooh. Yeah, well, it's in the background picture, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, you've got it for the artwork, but I don't think I see one for the actual figure. I think that's a bit of a bummer, especially for third party. If you're gonna do Rosanna, do a quick mold of a microphone for her. That's all I'm asking.
At least Hasbro would have the blasters double as microphone.
It might look really weird and wonky, but yeah. Mr. White says the visor is the worst 80s styling, and the art makes it look even worse. Oh yeah, I think Mr. White's referencing those the Bret the Hitman Hart sunglasses. If do you know what I mean by those, Orange?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were young enough to not know what that was and thought I was fucking crazy, which could be a thing. We also have the Ocular Max stuff. I think the Ocular Max stuff always looks great. So they show off the hotspot in a lot of poses. He looks really, really good. He looks really fucking big and chunky. They show off the Defensor mode. And by Defensor mode, I mean Defensor mode with 2 first aids and 2 streetwises. But it gives you the idea. He has multiple heads. He has I guess, toy helmet in quotations, which is more rounded and more of a animation. Sorry, a toy helmet which is more squared off, rectangular, and a toy helmet which is a bit more rounded. And then there are different faces he can slot in there as well. What do you think of their take on Defensor? Since we just looked at again a previous one from Transbots, which we didn't think much of.
Well, for their hotspot. Again, I like the really, really big, chunky limbs, right? And well, I suppose it's not that prominent on this figure, but for Hotspot, he usually has a big torso in comparison to his proportions. So for Hotspot, this looks pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah,
it has a nice balance of limb and torso. I like it.
I think the only place that it looks weird is panel 287, where he's got his arm, looking at him pose with his cannon arms, the way that the arms look slightly strange. I think it's because of the size of the shoulders and where the arm elbow joint is, looks odd. The
depth of it, right?
Maybe, yeah. I think it's because The torso is like twisted at a slight angle, and then there's a lot of shoulder going backwards because of the big shoulder pad. It might look better in person. It's just one of those things that sometimes photos don't help, or sometimes make look worse. There's some CAD model images of a Mixmaster to show them in, and a Scrapper. CAD models, so it's hard to say. And CAD model version of Devastator as well. I think a CAD model version of Rollbar? Is it Rollbar, the RID version of Swindle?
It is, yeah.
Thank Christ. Ooh, go brain. So, hey, Ruination's coming. So if you liked the Bruticus from Ocular Max, well, there's going to be a Ruination. Jump on board. I know some people like the Ruination look more. I'm always G2 Devastator, baby. Let's fucking go. G2 Devastator is the best version. Fuck yeah. No comebacks. Excellent. Anything to say on these ones quickly, Orange?
Yeah, the Mixmaster looks very, very oddly proportioned. Like, he has the cup arm placement where the arms are like lower on the shoulder than they should go, and the little top hoodie is way too small in my opinion, plus the larger torso, which is a personal preference.
Do you think the head looks the actual face, the black helmet face, looks flattened as well because of the hood?
Now that you mention it, yeah, it looks like it doesn't have the depth that it should.
Yeah, I think I get why, because I think they're trying to make clearance for the hood, as it were, and almost like cut off half of the back of his head and kind of remove that to make it work.
I have a name for this. How about BotCon Tigatron syndrome?
Oh no, I remember that. What mold was it that did that?
The not Sunshrieker Breakdown, Combiner Wars Breakdown.
It was Combiner Wars Breakdown. Yeah, 100%. Like you said, they just cut off the back of his head and it was just flat. Oh, so weird. Yeah, it kind of does have that kind of vibe to it. Anything on the Scrapper or the roll bar? I think the roll bar is meant to be good. I don't think I've heard anyone say anything ill about the Swindle. So just recoloring it is going to be whatever. Sure, it's another one.
I really like the roll bar. The proportions are great. He has a nice big like head, which really helps with the proportions. It looks really swindly, and the Jeep mode looks really nice. I really like how they did like the seats and the little weapon mount on top. I really like it. Yeah,
it's solid. Fans Hobby, again, we showed off Wingman, which I've talked about before. Fuck them, because they hate me, clearly. Either Fans Hobby, The Chosen Prime, or TFcon, or all of them. They just hate me. And that's, you've got to get used to it. You got to get a hard skin when you go on the internet so long and you know that people just fucking hate you because they won't let you buy the cool Predator jets. Did they show off? Oh, they showed off the Star Saber. These are I think we saw CG renders of these ages ago. We've got prototype versions of them now. They might get repainted. There have been a few repaints of the Star Saber. There's been a slight retool for the Energon Star Saber, but we don't talk about that one because it's weird. And I think we've got images of the Requiem. Yeah, there's the Requiem Blast team, but they look like they're in CAD model at the moment. But they will make the very awkward-looking Requiem Blaster. And the Skyboom shield's here as well, in a sense. And Nemesis Prime version, which we talked about last week. I think it was last week, actually. What do you think of the Fans Hobby stuff?
Okay, so the first thing that jumps out at me is the Saber team. They're in that one. Which image is it? The one 312. They look like they're doing some sort of Ginyu Force pose. R.I.P. Toriyama, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
And I really like that. I really like how articulated these guys are. They look really nice.
I'll throw out an issue. Too many points on them are translucent, especially for ball joint connected to hips and to torso. That's an issue. I don't mind as much on a hinge. But for ball joints, I'm like, I know it's third party, so it might be a little bit better, but I'm still, waggling the finger of,
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Any thoughts on the Requiem Blaster, even though it's just CADs at the moment?
Let's see it down here. Oh, these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, they actually gave that one guy one elbow, which is, I guess, better than nothing. But what can you do there? I mean, you didn't need to put that like missile thing clear through his arm, right? I mean, couldn't it be? I don't know. Maybe. I'm very picky about the articulation of like 5 centimeter tall transformers, which are it's probably unreasonable to do, but it's a thing that sticks out at me.
It is weird that they put in like the missile gimmick. It seemingly looks like they put in the missile gimmick for the satellite guy, which is why it has the bit coming out the top of the shoulder. Not that you could really put in an elbow joint in that design anyway.
Yeah.
But it is kind of strange either way. I wonder if it is a working missile gimmick or not. I think this is as best as you could get the Requiem Blaster team, which were generally a bit on the strange side and obviously turn into a very bizarre weapon. At least attempted a weapon. Like, in the cartoon, they lie and they make it make sense. In, like, real human form, it always comes across as, it's a gun. It's a very messy gun, but I could see it, if you squint.
Their proportions are nice. I really like the articulation on the missile guy. That is really good.
He's only got one like elbow joint, but again,
no, he has 2. Look at the back view.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. It's just they haven't posed him with an elbow bend, but he does have it there. Yeah, I think he might be the best on the team. The worst one's the satellite guy.
I would agree. I at least like the satellite guy's proportions. I know he's a little bit wide-shouldered, but I think it works with him.
Yeah, I like him being taller and like the big boy of the team. He just looks kind of tall and flat, I think is how I would describe him. Yeah, it's an interesting look to the team. And there's no real mentioning the Sky Boom Shield because it's not done. Then they show some test progress for the tidal wave, which we still haven't really had a lot of images of, which is kind of a shame. And that's it. That's all of the TFcon panel stuff. The last thing the TFcon really showed was they had some cabinets which had some fans' toys, which had the Jetfire in its Armada Jetfire in trousers mode. It had the Star Saber team in there as well. Is that all from Fans Hobby? Oh no, they had the Nemesis Prime there, and then a few other bits as well from Iron Factory. Iron Factory's the Fallen looks a bit more like short-legged than I would have thought. Actually, like his legs are, I think maybe could have been a bit long. Maybe it's because his shoulders are so big, it makes his legs look quite small. Strangely enough. Do you want to throw at anything then, Orange, for any of these things that we've seen either that are in the cabinet or maybe you didn't get a chance to talk about?
What that Fans Hobby Predator, is that Snare? I'm not too familiar.
That's Snare. Yeah, Wingman is Snare. The previous one was meant to be Talon.
I would really like to have figures of them.
Yeah, same. Hasbro. Unique molds too, please, because they would deserve it. Because they have very interesting modes, but it won't happen. I do have the Buster, so I do have the previous, like the Talon, and I would have liked that one, but because they are exclusives, they're very hard to get. I think there's only a couple of hundred of them, so what can you do? But with that, we've ran over time quite a lot. But thank you very much, Orange, for coming on the show. I much appreciate it. It was nice to talk to you for the first time.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me on.
Sorry, I've got to wrap the show up very quickly, but I've got to finish work for the night, and duty calls, as they say. Where can people find you on the internet if you want them to be found? If you want to be found, I should say.
On most socials, I'm Keshmar Orange, Keshmar. Except like what was it called? Blue Sky. I haven't signed up for that yet, but I want to stream from Twitch soon. I'm Orange-itis on there, like inflammation of the orange, basically. Orange-itis.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, those places. It's Decayed Andy, the rotten flesh of a human person. We're on the Moonbase 2 podcast. All those places, just tweet out Moonbase 2 or find us with Moonbase 2. You'll find us that way. Mr. White says, did you hear the sad news, Andy, that Kyozen? That Andy Kyozen had passed away. Yes, I did. The Andy Kyozen, the guy that did a lot of the Generation 2 figures, of the designs for like Stalker and whatnot. Yeah, I heard that just kind of recently came out today. Did you hear that, Orange?
I did not. This is the first time I heard about it.
Yeah. I think he was meant to be a guest at TF Nation this year as well. So that's a real shame for people that wanted to meet him. I hear he was a great guest as well. Feels like it was kind of sudden. I don't think he was that old, really, relatively talking. But yeah, it's sad news. Sad news indeed.
Yeah, he made good figures, that's for sure.
Great figures. He made my era of toys, basically. So yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, I've got to get going. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on by. We'll be here next week at 8 o'clock in the evening, UK time, on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to come and watch and join in with the chat, etc., etc. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. And thank you, Orange. Bye.
Yep.